Good afternoon, and thank you for coming to J.A.T.F.B.S 48th World, where we do recaps and reviews on reality shows, soap operas, and shopping hauls, and etc., etc., etc. Okay, guys, we're going to be going over Thicker Than Water, Season 3, Episode 6. Excuse me. The title of the show is Through Thick and Thin. Basically, what we're doing is recapping off from last episode. We know Brooklyn and her daddy was going through some changes at the restaurant, a barbecue restaurant called Buster's Place there in Tennessee. And she was just going in on her dad about him not being available for her mentally and physically. She's telling him, he's lying about trying to call her every week and check on her. She says he don't. He says she does. Both of them make compelling arguments. I couldn't really tell at the end of the segment of this episode whether or not, which one was telling the truth. Of course, now if basically Brooklyn is saying, she see her dad because she is over there doing something and he don't call her, then to me, okay, that's not a call, but I mean, he's like he did see you, and y'all could have had conversation where it didn't have to partake on the phone for that week. So maybe that's what Ben is trying to say. Maybe he didn't call, but he actually saw you a couple of times during the week, so it wasn't necessary to call you, but y'all still were in contact with each other. Y'all still had communication via cell phone, tweet, calling actually on the telephone, or you actually appearing over his house. That's a form of communication, but if she's strictly saying calling, then she may have a point. But let's go on into the summary of the little information they gave us about this particular episode. It states tension soars as Ben and Brooklyn conversation hits the breaking point, and Jules steps in to keep the peace. Okay, that's meaning basically Jewel is listening to both sides, and she's going on her own type of experience dealing with kids, or as being like to say juveniles. But I'm like, these grown ass juveniles you have up in your house. These are not children. But anyway, he names them or he tags them as juveniles. But she's telling her husband, hey, you're the oldest. You're the solidifying person in the relationship. So you need to straighten it out, and you need to take as many hits as you possibly can, because you're the father, you're the head of the household, so get with it, okay? Suck up your pride, get down with making things right. So she does a very good job at that and recognizing it for what it is. The kids are definitely suffering from past issues, which probably would come up here and there throughout his lifetime on this earth. So he might just make sure that he's ready to strapped in, ready to take that ride, because that's pretty much where it's going to be until God calls him home. Okay, then we go to Cyrene opens up about her feelings about her mother. Of course, she's opening up to a sister-in-law instead of her siblings, or more than fact her mother. Okay, and then she's opening up on television. That's why I said some people are just not ready for television. Some kids should not be put on television because they make their self look bad. Because right now she's coming off to be a selfish ass child. She's not a young adult. I don't even put her in that category. And you would think that she would have enough smarts, in her to know what she's doing. But okay, she can't look at herself unless she's mirroring herself. So other people have to give her FYI. But she comes off as spoiled as brat. I have no time for her. I wish they keep her off the camera, basically because she's not showing anybody respect. Then later on in the episode, she's going to be talking about, well, I don't cuss out my parents. I may talk smart to them. Well, honey, that's disrespecting your parents. However you want to put it, whether you're cussing them out with curse words, whether you're non-verbally acting negative to them, it all falls in the same little boat. Okay, so children like her, and I call her children because she hasn't matured. She's in college, trying to get her academic studies on, but just because you go to college don't mature you. Okay, don't necessarily mature you. Life experiences mature you when you don't have your family to back you up and you have to stand alone, or like I like to say, stand with God. But like I said, she's just not having enough sense to make appropriate gestures or statements when it comes to her mother Jewel. I'm like, ugh, a train wreck ready to happen, and she's had the best of everything, the best upbringing, the best food, clothes, shelter, and she still is dumb as rocks. So let me just get off her, because you can see how I really feel about this little girl and about putting children on camera before they're really ready to, because it seems like she's performing more for the camera and she's even trying to show us how she deals with her parent. So you can see it. Let's just move on. Let's just move on. But to me, it's like Jules having a hard time trying to help her understand the dynamics of being a child at her age or a young adult, and she's not grasping the point. On things she's looking at is that her siblings have a more better relationship with, with her mother than she does. And I'm like, ugh, I can't go there. I really can't go there. And then, of course, we have the friction that still has its lingering effects with Brooklyn and her dad. So that was pretty much the summary. We recapped it all for you. So now we're just going to dive right on into it. Of course, they shows us clips from the previous scene where Ben goes out to the truck and tries to comfort his daughter. His daughter's like, oh, excuse me, guys. You're not hearing me, Dad. You're not hearing the whole scenario. You're just looking at it from one way. You're looking for the pastoral way. I'm asking you to come off your high horse. She could have used a better frame than that. But, okay, we're on TV. It's reality. Maybe she's giving us what she really feels. So she's not wanting her father to console her. So she's running back into the restaurant, which is Buster's place. A place he said he would have bought outright. But it had an alcohol type selling of what was going on, and he didn't want that aspect of him getting his congregation drunk and then they having an ideal of maybe coming back suing him, this, that, and the other. I'm like, okay, Ben, whatever. But she goes into the restaurant. I don't know if someone's in there with her. It might be the camera people that she's talking with. I know she ain't talking to herself. But anyway, she goes in and, saying, he's lying, he's this, that, he's not listening to her, and shoot, she gonna catch a cab home. And of course, she used cuss words because they caught it on camera. Maybe she thought she didn't use it, but when you're in the heat of argument, you don't know what you pretty much be saying. You just be spewing out hate, other type of information that you may not want to come out, but hell, it come out because you're in the heat of the moment and everything is no holds barred. You know what I'm saying? Just go for the throat of the juggler, as they say. So she pretty much leaves her dad looking dumbfounded at the restaurant, and he don't know which way to go because he know he's on camera, and he like, okay, I want to go whoop that ass, but okay. She done embarrassed me in front of all millions and millions of people. They're not going to edit it out, so ain't no sense of me trying to talk with them about it because it's good footage. Hell, I would use it if I was on the other end. But anyway, it is what it is. He goes home, and, she goes home, so we pretty much finished with that scene. Okay, then we go to the scene with Cyrene and Jewel. Cyrene hates her mom faking the funk of them pretending bonding on TV. She pretty much even says it. I'm like, oh, see, I'm talking. Okay, she goes on to tell her mom to fix her makeup first before she can come in there and try to bond with her. You see the disrespect that I'm talking about? Y'all, do you see the disrespect? I mean, come on, girl. Ooh. I mean, somebody ought to get her a Play-Doh kit so she can shape her way back to being a sensible, well-rounded kid that she commonly says within the episode. She don't never disrespect her parents, how Brooklyn is going off. At least Brooklyn is being pure honest with her feelings, and she's coming out, whether it be emotional or she's just very stern and adamant of what she's saying. At least she says it in the appropriate way where she's getting people attention. Okay, you just slick mouth and be want somebody to go upside your head, but hey, like I said, but I'm glad I ain't your parent. But anyway, we just move on from that scene because I'm kind of getting a little heated. But anyway, she's confiding into her sister-in-law about her mom and her dad, but it's really about her mom, and I'm like, she's just jealous. I don't know where she get this jealousy sense from, because it seems like Jewel spreads her love all the way around the house, even with her daughter-in-law. So I'm not really sure. I mean, I feel the love from her, and I'm on the other side of the screen. But anyway, she's just rude, and they need to do less filming with her as possible, because how they say the preacher's daughter, she's that typical preacher's daughter that they're talking about, and you do know what I mean. Okay, we moving on. We go to Jewel and Ben. Both of them are telling about, or they're venting to each other about for being this Brooklyn, for Jewel and Cyrene, how just unnatural these kids are. They are just too ungrateful for what they have. They be slick at the mouth. They be verbally cussing you out, in public. And, if we were back in the day, we couldn't do that to our parents, man. We'd be somewhere down the block where they don't slap us, okay? Woo, child, these people, these Hollywood kids, these people, oh, okay, these reality shows is turning these kids into monsters. I'm telling you, people, keep your children off camera unless they're want to show some cute scene. But when you're talking about disrespecting your parents, where verbally cussing or nice nasty to them, that's just not appropriate. Oh, it's just not appropriate. Okay, keep it moving. We're going to Britney and Brooklyn. Brooklyn is telling her sister that their dad is fake. She's giving her the 411 of what's basically happened. Of course, you ain't gonna tell Britney nothing about her dad, huh? She's just glad he's in her life, and she got some issues of her own. Okay. Anyway, Britney's not really understanding. She said, okay, I don't see daddy that way. I'm a daddy's girl all day, every day. I think you and him need to have a conversation, a little talk, so y'all can hash this out, because this is not like you and it's not like dad. So I don't know who to believe. But, I ain't going to get my dad because I'm his favorite child. And that's pretty much how she leaves it. So we go back to Jewel and Ben. And Jewel is saying they need to have a family meeting. Jewel says, she just tells her husband he needs to make the adjustment. He needs to be the bigger person, because these kids have a right to feel the way they feel, because they were absent out of his life when they were forming who they were or who they were going to be. They're forming their identities. He missed all of that. So a lot of a lot of aggravation, a lot of anxiety is being festered up, and they don't know where to put it. So they're going to put it right back at your doorstep, Dad. So you need to get up, pull up your bootstraps, put on your heavy armor, and you fight with your kids the right way. You fight for their love and attention. You let them know that you're going to be there with them. And that's basically what we're going to lead this conversation, because we're going to make our own self sick and our own hairs be gray. And these kids going to be still living here and be done lived off our fortune, squandered it, and did what else, and still going to be hollering while we in the grave. Why you do this to me, Daddy? Why did you do this to me, Mama Jewel? And she was absolutely right. So kudos for Jewel. Kudos for Jewel. And she only had one child out the situation. You know what I'm saying? How do you other get? Oh, well, anyway, blessed woman. Blessed woman. Keep her being. You'll never get another woman like that again, okay? Then we go to Britney and Brooklyn again. Britney is saying you just can't, give up on Dad. We family. He's always instilled that in us since that we've been back with him, and he's been taking care of us, and he's always been there. So you need to, slow your roll, okay? We go to commercial. We come back from commercial. We with Shannara and Cyrene. Okay, Cyrene is saying she's scared of her mom. She's not comfortable with talking to her parents about anything personal. But if she's on TV, she gonna tell us about it. So I'm like, what the fuck? What are you doing, girl? What do you mean you ain't close to your mom? You ain't close to your dad? I mean, come on. Ugh. So see, again, typical preacher's daughter that we always know about, and they just wild as hell. They want to do what they want to do, and they want to blame their parents. Okay, instead of going to okay, I'm not going on something. I'm backing out the drive on Cyrene because she's going to make me go there. We move on. We go to Marcus, Ben, Big Ben, the dad. And they're both talking to each other. And, Marcus is stepping in to show his dad, hey, Dad, I got these little bow ties, and I'm trying to market them. And Brooklyn said she's going to help me with them by doing a fashion show. I don't know what Brooklyn come up with having 30 models for a fashion show. She must have been lost her damn mind. 10 would be good, or 5 would be better. Meaning you just switch them out on stage as quick as you can, change outfits, and they'll see the little pop with the flavor of the bow tie. Okay, you don't need no 30 ass models. Okay, no. But anyway, he is pretty much in tune with what he think his sister's gonna do for him, which is good, because his dad didn't make a concern about him being a missionary and not a fashion designer or a marketing person. So how is he going to do that, since that's way out of his realm? Those are two different large aspects. But he said he got it covered. He know how to dib and dab in both worlds, and he's not necessarily going to be the person out showing the bow ties. That's why he got his models. And if they want to have anything to talk with the designer, then he could tell them how he constructed them, what made him choose each particular pattern or whatever, and what made him get into designing bow ties. And, he could pretty much say that was his niche. It was his love. He didn't like ties and what it represents. So, just sell himself. He could do that. He good at doing that. So I could see him being very prosperous. And of course, his dad's going to find him the money, I'm pretty sure, to get something. If it's not online, it'll be in a building down there in Tennessee, which is cool. But I think online is the way to go for any business adventure because it's less overhead and it ain't no lawsuits that can be filed against people coming in trying to, sue you for slipping on, the siding of your building or some parts in your building, they slip up and fall. So the liability is almost zero. So that's a good thing. Think about that if you watch my videotapes, Marcus. But anyway, or somebody get it to him. But anyway, we're where we at and where we are. Okay, but like I said, he's confiding in his dad about the marketing and the bow ties and him having extra revenue and this, that, and the other, while he continues to do his missionary work. But also, for some odd, strange reason, Ben picks the opportunity time to talk to him like they're on the same level. That's what gets me. But whatever floats your boat. Like I said, Marcus has given me a tease of he's wise beyond his years, but then he's come up short on 2 of my episodes that I was disappointed with him on how he constructed his line of defense when he got mad with some of his family members. I mean, cool is cool. You take it as well as you take the good and the bad. You still hold yourself in utmost respect and the demeanor that you choose to project on people, okay, at all times. But anyway, like I said, he went on and tried to talk with his son about Brooklyn and her antics and all this, that, and that. And he pretty much said, okay, Dad, I'm glad, pretty much how you handle it. I don't know why you asking me because, yeah, we're grown, but we're not on the same level. You live much more life experiences than I have. But, honey, you need to take it as an honor that your dad is looking at you as being a more level-headed person and that could deal with his sisters, and he's seen them come to him for different questions or concerns, and he was there and he was right on point with the information or resolution of how he thought they should handle the issue. So that's why your dad is coming to you. He think y'all are on the same level. You don't have the finances that he have or the revenue or the experiences that made him get to where he are now, but I'm sure if you keep living you will go down that path, but you'll be more prosperous than he was because he won't let you fall. He'll tell you, no son, go this way, don't go that way because that's this and the other. Okay, so you do have your dad for that. Okay, so it's a pretty good scene. We live off from there. We go to, but pretty much then before we go off of there, it was more so both of them had assumed that it was a more thing with Brooklyn as a sense of entitlement, that since he wasn't there at the first part of her life and this, that, and the other, and she had to struggle what she felt the struggle, he should have been there for everything, for the good, the bad, and the ugly. But he wasn't, so it's more so she entitled to what she has now and much more down the road. So they both came up with that conclusion. They know, hey, it's going to work somewhat, but it ain't going to work all the time because sometimes you have to learn your lessons the hard way. But we move on from there. We go to Brooklyn and Ryan. Both of them are getting ready to take their trip to Atlanta to see a music producer by the name of Elvis and some lady who's a voice coach that she's going to be working with while she's trying to lay down a track or two here in Atlanta. So that was a pretty good scene. We move from there. We go to Shannara. She's pretty much giving us a brief scene of her getting her follow-up checkup with the baby, the sonogram, make sure everything's going pretty well. We leave there. We go back to Britney, Tisha, Marcus, and Micah. For some odd reason, she has found another opportune time to come over and watch the baby. This is Britney. Britney's always wanting her one-on-one time with the baby. So, she said, y'all got somewhere to go? Y'all can go. Let me have the baby, this, that, and the other. So she don't do it, with no tact. She just pretty much come on out and tell them what she want to do. So Marcus is inclined to accept her offer to watch the baby while he goes and gets some ice cream because he's been definitely having this ice cream taste or anxiety, and he wanted some, and he has the opportunity to get some since his sister is pledging that she wants to watch his son for a few. So he's like, come on, honey, I need to spend some one-on-one time with you. We deserve it. We need it. Let's go. So she's kind of apprehensive about leaving, but she know we already caught the tea on her 2 episodes ago and recently, but she don't want nobody to watch her child. Like she can't leave him for 1 second. But anyway, she half-heartedly leaves and go on with her husband to the ice cream shop. And they're pretty much trying to feel her out, meaning Britney, like, is she gonna be okay with the baby? And they were more concerned about Britney's state of mind than Michael's state of mind, because they knew Michael was gonna take her through the ringer. He was gonna do this, that, and the other, and sure did. He did that and more. He frazzled that girl. She didn't know if she was coming or going. He was crying. He was, stonky. He wanted to change the diaper. He was a hot mess. But anyway, more practice makes perfect, Brittany. That's all I can say for you and Michael. But anyway, he didn't kill her. But when they came back from ice cream and stuff, she got the hell out of that house. Like, y'all can have y'all little monster. But I still want a baby. But I have my own baby monster. Because I have the temperament to follow with that. But Michael, he got on my goddamn nerve. I couldn't stand him no more. So this is y'all child. I understand what y'all mean. Y'all take him. Good riddance. Goodbye. So she got the hell out of there. And they laughed at her, they laughed at her, they laughed at her. So they know Michael had pretty much whipped up behind. But anyway, we leave there. We go to a commercial. We come back. We're with Tish and Marcus. Oh, okay. I really had sped through all that. So I gave y'all all into one. Okay, then we go back to Atlanta where Brooklyn's in the studio room and she's trying to lay down track, and both Black Elvis and Tanisha are getting on her about her diaphragm. She's not breathing properly. She's not getting into the song. She's not supporting the song in a way where she's living through it, the pain, the anguish of the song that she's singing, and they expecting more from her, so she was like, ooh, this is not easy, maybe this is what my dad was warning me about, that people are not going to be taking their time with you, even though you're paying them their money. They don't want to be messing with you if you don't know half of what you're doing. You got to come with it. You got to come with it. So she quietly understood in her own frame of mind that this is what her dad was probably trying to break her into lightly, to make sure she was real serious about it, because people don't like to be wasting their time and effort. So she got a realization about the whole idea. She finally got the track cut how she wanted it, and it did sound pretty good. It really did. I liked it. I could groove to it. Then it comes for the time for the meeting. She's back from Atlanta. They're all back at the house except for Benji and I think Shania. They didn't come, but the rest of the family was there. And then, the father was basically conducting a meeting because he was just trying to say, they want the family to be on one accord, one mind, like-mindedness, and they want everybody to get together because we're a family. We're not going anywhere till the Lord take us. But until then, we're going to be, on one accord. So he was just going back, replaying the incident that happened with Marcus and Benji and that little something they had got into that was negativity, and along with the wives, the in-laws, they weren't experiencing on the same path with one another. They were having ill feels towards each other, and the concern was with Micah. So they basically squashed that beef. Everybody was okay with that. But they were going to move on forward to, make sure everybody's treating everybody how they want to be treated, and watching their tones when they're talking with each other. That's when Cyrene made a sly comment that, oh, you cussed that mom and dad? Oh, I never would have done that. I want to slap upside her face too and say, yeah, you did, because you was sitting up there being loose mouth with your mama when she was coming up there greeting you from coming home, and you pretty much asking her what she here for. Why she here? And that's her house. Her house, does she pay rent? She paid clothes, put clothes on your back, food in your mouth. All this kind of, let me back out the driveway because she's making me mad, y'all. She making me mad. Oh, she making me mad. Okay, we're going to go on from there. Ben is saying that he definitely, these icy patches that they've been going through, we got to stop that and stuff. And, pretty much Brooklyn opened her mouth and said, they're more of a glacier. There ain't no icy patches. And so, everybody kind of like, girl, you going to let your daddy talk or what? And so, Ben went on to say that he was throwing a little, light shade at Brooklyn when she was trying to do her thing in the first little thing she got together, her fashion show, her hair show, and he was kind of tickled pink about it and making little sly marks. That hurt her feelings, and he shouldn't tap him on the hand and the head, because he shouldn't have been doing that. That was his daughter, and he had to know that this shit is going to be shown on TV, and it's going to be a lot of flack from it, and he should have had her back instead of the comments that he made. Shame on you, Ben. You need to be very mindful because you're on TV. It's not like you're behind closed doors, okay? And nobody can hear your conversation but your family, but millions of people have seen in your confessions and all this tomfoolery on this reality show, that you was, taking advantage of your daughter and trying to be nice nasty to her. And that wasn't right. I mean, if you did it to the boys, it still wouldn't have been right, but maybe they had a little more tougher skin than you doing it with your daughter. So that's what it is. And then, of course, Brooklyn, gets into it slightly with Jewel because Jewel's not paying attention to her own logic. She said, let the people speak. You know what I'm saying? But she's trying to speak for how Brooklyn says she feels. When Brooklyn's old enough and wise enough to say what she feels and whatnot, she don't need your help. And she was right when you were saying, trying to get in her business. She's like, you think you know what I want to say, but that ain't what I want to say. This is what I want to say. So I'm like, okay, fall back, Jewel. Fall back now. You want to give her the open floor, but yet you want to take and rein it in some. You can't do that now. If you open up the door, you got to be accepting what's going to come through it, okay? So it's pretty much where, everybody was just trying to chime in to certain things they didn't like. People need to respect and this, that, and the other. So everybody's in one accord. They're going to treat each other where they want to be treated, and it's just respect. Respect given all across the board. No matter how old you are, how young you are. Let's just respect one another. So we go to a commercial. We come back. Brooklyn responds to the family that, she needs support on everybody's front, but mostly from her daddy, because it doesn't matter what Diamond, her daughter, she's just making comparison now. Diamond, her daughter, could do, she's going to always back her daughter up. She's never going to tear her daughter up or down in front of people. That's a no-no. And I agree totally with her. If you're going to tear somebody down, do it in the comfort of your own home or your own privacy. Don't do it in front of a lot of naysayers and haters that are already out there, because you're just adding fuel to the fire. So that was a good comparison, and Daddy's, pretty much took it for what it was worth, and he got some knowledge out of it. Then Daddy being, recognized that he has to be, a little bit more kinder to Brooklyn and not be rude, because she's very sensitive in that nature. He probably can do it with the other kids, maybe his daughter-in-laws or whatever, because they know he doing it out of fun, and they know how they can get his behind back too, nice, nasty, slick or whatever. But Britney just don't want that. She want her support and love from her daddy. She don't want him to be slight shading her in no form or fashion, because she's been hurt too many times by men that she tried to look up to compare them to her dad or the dad that she wanted always in her life. So he knows to be very treading water there. Okay, and Brooklyn also knows to don't always put her dad on that preacher pedestal when he's at home, but just, living life with him, because everybody do fall short. You try to go up into your congregation and give the best front you can, but you might be tearing up inside. But you can't show them that, because you're supposed to be uplifting to them. But as we do know, when things do go bad, sometimes it is exposed throughout the church, and the pastor is exposed for doing certain things. But again, they're only human. Don't put them on that high of a pedestal. If you're going to put somebody on that pedestal, judge ye not, or you may be judged back accordingly. But again, have your morals, high standards of that nature, match them towards Jesus Christ, Yeshua, or Yahweh the Father, Abba. You know what I'm saying? Put that up there if you want to have that kind of caliber of morality. That's just my take on it. So do what you will with it, people. Okay. All right. Then we go to Britney. Britney is setting up an OBGYN appointment. She's 25 years old. I don't know. She says she basically hadn't had one in a while, so I don't know why she hadn't been going to see the GYN. I don't know if she's sexually active. I know she said she didn't have a boyfriend, but, it is what it is. So she sets an appointment, and she follows through with the appointment, and later on in the episode. We go to Jewel and Ben. Jewel and Ben are having another date night out. I love it. I love it. I love it. Especially he says he has to escape from the juveniles because they get on his nerves. And, it's just wind down time so they can have, wife and husband time, so that's good. She did make a reference to calling her husband daddy. Y'all know how I feel about that. Can't stand this shit. You don't have one dad, you only have one mama. Use the words appropriately and not on your spouses, okay? Anyway, both of them are having a good time, and they're talking about their 15-year anniversaries coming up and what they would probably want to do for it. And, of course, Ben said, well, it's 15 years, and Lord knows you done been with my kids, and you only have one. We don't have either together, but you only have one, and I have all these other people in my family that they have chose to deem you as their mother and not saluting them. And I'm like, Ben, that was a bad, I had to call a spade, and that was a bad thing, because, hey, those children that you had outside of your marriage with Jewel, they do have mothers. If they didn't, they would have been dead and gone if the parents or the mother was treating them that bad. You know what I'm saying? They would have a lot more to tell us on their side of the story that they want to share if their mother was that bad. So don't go bad mouthing these children mama who can't come on camera and defend themselves. You know, so I ain't like that being that shows me some of your personality that ain't straight. Okay, you need to get it together. Jewel ain't went to all this race herself. She accepted because she saw what you could be. You see what I'm saying? And she was that spark under you, keeping you going. But however, don't ever do that. Don't when you say that no more being about the kid's mother. You know, let them talk about their own mother. But you don't go and talk about their mother, especially when you abandon all the kids to go chase your dream. Even though at the latter end, they're benefiting from it. But see, we didn't know how this was going to turn out. So stop it, Ben. You're getting on my nerves now. You're making me believe what Brooklyn is saying is for real. Okay? You know, okay. Let me come out the driveway on you. Okay. All right, we go to commercial. Well, let me just finish that on up. Basically, he was saying that if she didn't mind, he wanted to include the kids on this 15-year trip that they're going to take. He didn't care where they went. It's up to them or it's up to her to decide the destination. He would pay for it, sight unseen. And the only stipulation he has that he wanted to take the kids with him. Drew had no problem with it. I think she kind of got a little upset about it because, you know, sometimes you just want to be with your husband and let the chips fall when they may at home. You know, all of them are grown except for baby Michael, but we know Tisha gonna always have that baby checked. And Benji Jr. got his wife Shannara on lock, plus she has a mother too. So, you know, whatever. We move on from that scene. We go to Britney. She's at the OBGYN doctor's office, you know, checked up and stuff. And, you know, like I said, she's 25 years old. She don't have a mate, don't have a boyfriend, but she has this fantasy about fulfilling her duties of being a mother. And I'm like, you know, oh, this goes against all the grain of life itself. And with the idea she's supposed to be a saved individual. Now, I could see if the world was stricken and we had no more men in the world and you still want to have a baby. Okay. I understand that. But I'm like, Britney. Somebody please get that girl in counseling. Because evidently spiritual counsel is not helping her, not one bit. I don't know what her fantasy is. I don't know why her biological clock is ticking so hard to where she feels she don't have enough in her life. I'm like, I don't understand. She should have a fitness club because she can get them out exercising. She can teach Marcus and Tisha how to do drills and stuff and keep their body tight and right. She got a nice looking body. I hope she hadn't altered it with any surgery or anything like her sister did in Brooklyn. But, you know, she really got this fit thing on lock with the eating healthy and exercising. I'm like, Britney, start your own business, baby. Your dad's not going to be there always, okay? And then if you have a trust fund for you all, you know, that money only goes so far if you're investing well. And if you don't know how to invest, you know, like, baby, I can't really talk about this subject because it's near and dear to my heart. And I don't like to see 25-year-olds, you know, putting themselves in a predicament that could definitely go south real quick. I mean, if her daddy died, Jill want to go, you know, escape with the money and this, that, and that. What are you gonna be? She gonna have this baby and she's gonna have all this resentment and this, that, and the other. It's like she's not thinking things totally through, and I can't take it. I can't take it. So if I take a scene and don't talk about it, it's because either Cyrene is in it and she acting a fool, or it's Brooklyn and her foolishness with trying to have a baby at 25, no father, no husband, no nothing. Okay. Okay, and then she's not even trying to be a surrogate for somebody, if that was the case. But I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, okay. So we go on to Brooklyn and Daddy Ben. She comes over one particular nice day. She finds him in his bedroom. He's working on either a sermon or he's working on music. I don't know. But he's always with his little computer and his headphones on. So we is where we are with him. They both go over the dynamics of what actually transpired that day when they were in the restaurant, as well as when they had the family meeting. They both understand each other a lot better. I would have liked to see them give each other a hug at the end, but I guess that's too much for television. You don't want all that. But they came to a meeting of the minds to be respectful of each one's feelings, and that was a good thing. I would go into talking about Britney in Brooklyn being in her bedroom, and she's, you know, demanding respect far as this baby thing, but I don't want to go into it because I think it's ridiculous. I really do. It shouldn't even be a storyline in the Tanker family, Thicker Than Water. So, woo, that's all I have, guys, for Thicker Than Water, season 3, episode 6. The title was Through Thick and Thin. It was excellent as far as trying to get your family back on one accord and trying to be very respectful to everybody that is involved in your family members. And it's also the old adage to treat people like you want to be treated. That's the old and fondest dear thing you should always keep dear to heart. But like I said, it was a good scene. I had a lot to talk about, a lot of stuff I didn't want to talk about because it's plain tomfoolery. And I hope to review, God willing, the next episode coming up soon. You know, they broadcast on Sundays. So I'll see you next Sunday for more Thicker Than Water. The Tanker family giving it to us, okay? Live and in color. And we'll talk with you then. But have many blessings to you all. Stay encouraged and stay diligent with doing what you know is right. Always use your moral compass. And we'll see each other next time. Thank you for participating in my narration. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.